Hey, you're putting up a duck tee. Today, what we are going to do is we're going to start a project of re-roofing this old shed. You can see how the shingles are all curled up and deteriorating, and it's just a matter of time before that starts leaking into the room. And so we've contracted to have some friend come out and put on sheet metal roof, so a steel roof. And so we're going to have that done. They're going to start pulling off the shingles on Saturday. And to expedite the process, not of taking off the shingles, but of getting this job done, what I've done is I'm going to go and pick this up with my trailer. And so I've got a 12.5 or 12 foot long trailer here. It's got a 12-foot bed. But the sheets of metal are 17 or 17 and a half. I'm going to play with 17 and a half just to be sure, feet of metal. And so what I got to do is figure out how to get this trailer set up so that we can haul them. So the first thing that obviously comes to mind is that the metal is longer than the trailer. So we're going to have to find a way to extend 5.5 foot behind the end of the trailer and do it in a way that's safe, because that really is the most important part, is that it's safe. And so I'm working with materials that I have around, and I've got these boards that used to be underneath our deck. I'm going to use those. Those are 12 foot long, I believe. Actually, I haven't measured them. I'll check that out. But we're going to have to come 5.5 foot out of the back of this. Now, the next thing that becomes an important factor is how much of that space is going to be behind that axle. Because what you have to do when you are thinking about hauling a load, you've got to make sure that you have got more of the weight in front of the axle than behind, or else you get really bad sway that can actually roll your vehicle. So we want to make sure that we're taking the weight into consideration. And I haven't completely figured that out, but one of the things that I am thinking about is I've got this old rusty barrel that I picked up a couple years ago, not knowing what I was going to use it for. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount that. I've been thinking about where to mount it. I had thought about possibly mounting it here. This old lift here is no good. I would have to cut that off, but the sheets of metal are only 36 inches wide. So I think what I can do is get away with is putting it in the corner of the trailer here in the front, and then what I'll do is I will put water in that. So that's a 50-gallon drum at 8 pounds to a gallon. That's going to give me 400 pounds of weight to the front of the trailer to offset the weight that is going to be behind the axle on that sheet metal. And I don't know the exact weight of this. I guess if I was an engineer, I'd make a point of doing that. So, but I don't know the weight of it. But I do know that I'm going to have 7 foot in front of the axle and 10 foot behind. So that leaves me with about 3.5 foot of whatever the weight of these the sheet metal is going to be to offset. So 400 pounds is going to go a long way towards that. But I'm still going to make sure that I add extra weight to the front of this, because the last thing you want to be doing is hauling down the road with thousands of dollars of sheet metal and having your trailer flopping around behind you. So we're going to undertake that process. I'm going to document this and share it with you, and so we will keep you up to date as we go.